What up? It's that time again. It's Saturday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. This is the 12th Venom, GLW, known by many names, coming to my Twitch audience with some more Shaolin vs. Wu-Tang gameplay, some Kung Fu movie talk, and hopefully some fun and laughter as well. Tonight's theme is the rise of the foreigners. Characters that will be chosen to challenge our Kung Fu movie heroes. Our heroes themselves, but they are not native to the Chinese Kung Fu movies. So we're going to see some intriguing matchups, some matchups we wish that we could, at least I wish, we could see in real life, as well as some other things. So before we begin, tonight's gameplay is coming to you courtesy of the Shaolin vs. Wu-Tang Eastern Heroes game, but this gameplay is on the PC tonight, so it's gonna look a little different than normal. We're gonna have more backgrounds, more characters, because we are doing the PC version tonight. And if you just joined us, the theme of tonight, as you can see on the screen, as my voice plays over this great track known as Heroes Tower from my man Sneed the J Badger. But our theme is the rise of the foreigners. So the non-Shaw Brothers, the non-Golden Harvest, the non-independent Chinese Kung Fu film stars that this game characters are based on. The foreign-born martial arts stars, meaning foreign-born from America, Belgium, etc., will be testing their Kung Fu and Karate and Tang Sudo and Muay Thai might against themselves and some of our great Kung Fu movie stars of the past that this game brings us. So, without further ado, we're going to get right into the action. So I hope you enjoy the foreigners versus the world. It's the 12th Venom GLW coming to you from Detroit, Michigan. And let's go.
Fleeing. Round 1. Fight. Round 1. Fight. First hit. Round 2, fight.
醉神，
Round 3, fight.
无敌拳，威武！
Player 1, win. Round 1, fight. First hit.
蛇毒，蛇毒，
Round 2, fight. Perfect ball. Player 2. Win. Round 1. Fight. First hit.
看清了，少林腿，看清了，
Round 2. Fight. Round 3. Fight.
少林腿，
Player 1. Win. Round 1. Fight. First.
无敌拳，无敌拳，无敌拳。
two, fight. Player one. Win. Round one. Fight. First hit. Perfect ball. Perfect ball. Perfect ball. Player one. Win. Round one. Fight. Round two. Fight. Perfect ball. Player Shaolin versus Tang. Choose your fighter. American Karate. Capoeira. Tang Joe. Kickboxing. Ninjutsu. Okinawan Karate. Muay Thai. Buddha's Pit. Round 1. Fight. First hit.
Now you should be able to hear me. How about now? Okay, I've been doing all that talking and I accidentally had the mic on muted output. You guys missed some jewels. I was giving away some kung fu goodies. How you can go to Tubi TV and watch hold on, I turned my phone down. Okay. Watch how you can go to Tubi TV and it's a free thing and you can watch a ton of movies featuring Tony Jaa, some Van Damme movies, some old school kung fu movies. Go to Tubi TV. I was dropping some jewels, man, on some whole lot of old school kung fu stuff. But we got Tong Po taking on Jim Kelly. Ooh! Jim Kelly, the master Jim Kelly. Master of Shorin-ryu Karate, Okinawan Tay, black belt in BJJ. Yes, you can watch Tubi on your computer. You can watch Tubi as an app on your phone or just using a browser. I love Tubi. You can sign up for an account just to keep track of what you were watching for free. They have that old school TV show, Vanishing Sun, on there. They got a ton of kung fu movies. They got a ton of action movies, a ton of kung fu soap opera type shows. And again, it's completely free. It may have ads on it, but if it is, I like get up and that's when I go to the bathroom, so I don't even notice them. But it's free, and it's a lot of movies. They have a ton of movies on there, so yeah. So we got Tang Po. I want Tang Po. We got Tang Po. Oh, both of these guys' energies are low. What's gonna happen? Oh, Tang Po with the elbow.
Player 1. Win.
So Tang Po advances to the next round, and now we got ninjutsu taking on kickboxing. I don't know. I'm not rooting for anyone. I want to see who's gonna do it. So they're fighting in the snow. We got JCVD taking on Hiroyuki Sanada as the ninja. He's a ninja. I know who you're rooting for in this one. You're rooting for JCVD as he takes on. We're going to see Hiroyuki Sanada coming up as Scorpion in the Mortal Kombat movie. Looking forward to the Mortal Kombat movie. I want to ask anyone, have they seen the Kung Fu TV show yet? And their thoughts on new Kung Fu TV show on the CW. He's gonna destroy him with his helicopter kick. I don't know. We got Hiroyuki Sanada, who a student of Sonny Chiba, graduate of Japan Action Club, been in a gazillion movies as a ninja, as a regular fighting dude, as one of his good movies, and I may be on Tubi TV, where Hiroyuki Sanada is Ninja in the Dragon's Den. Great movie with great choreography by the Jackie Chan and Samo's classmate Corey Yun. I mean, if nothing else, with the advent of this great CGI, we should get at least some good bloody fatalities out of it. But some of the performers actually have a martial arts background, like Joe Tausmi from The Raid and The Warrior, and what else did he just play in? No, whatever. Raid and The Warrior. Who else we got? We got Louis Tang, who's playing this Cole Young. Oh, JCVD with the boot. Okay, we got to break this tie here. The ninja has to pull out some throwing stars and his ninja toe, his ninja sword, as well as some of that taijutsu. Not little known, that I had a stint with ninjutsu back in the 90s for 2 years, training in 1 or 2 years training in ninjutsu or bunjinkan taijutsu with Sensei Otto Cardu in Ann Arbor, Michigan, or Dexter, Michigan. And we should go up to his farm and train, and we did I forget all the names, but we did Suino Kata, Jumanji no Kata. Yes, Jumanji, that's how I pronounced it. Jumanji no Kata. And we did some throwing stars and a little work with the ninja sword. We did a lot of joint locks and rolls and Koppo Jutsu, which it was Koppo Jutsu, which was bone breaking, quote unquote. So JCVD advances. And in the next round, we got Capoeira versus the Buddhist Fist. And they're fighting in the Kumite. We got the Capoeira character. Can he overcome the Buddhist Fist? Yes, you were right, Caprobatica. We got Capoeira taking, look at those esquivas there. Oh, couldn't esquiva that one. We got Capoeira taking on the Buddha's Fist. Buddha's Palm, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the actual movie that's Buddha's Fist that this character is based on. And the capoeira character, I'm going to call Lateef Crowder, using his bidding bow as a weapon, which we know no capoeira. Well, we can't say that. Probably wouldn't be the first weapon, but nonetheless. Oh, nice. That was a nice dodge there by the Buddha's fist, Buddha's palm. Ooh, a cabezada by the Buddha's palm. Where's the cabezada from the capoeirista? Aye. You want to war with me, maestre? They should have made a character that looked like what was his name? Silverio from Only the Strong. You want to go to war with me, maestro? Who's your maestro? Hey, cocina. Ooh-wee. Hey, Mr. Stevens, I want to learn how to kick ass. Adeus. Yes. Boy, we could do a whole movie.
Round 3, fight.
So we're back. My OBS is having some issues, so I was saying that we could do a whole stream of just Only the Strong and really laugh at it, and not in a bad way, but just make fun of it like we typically do, because I still like the movie, and it would be very hilarious. Of course, you got Bezoru the movie, or Beetle. Fly for me, Beetle. Show me you can fly, Beetle. I hate the dub version. Give me the subtitle anyway. Oh, Buddha's Fist with the victory. Buddha's Fist advances to the next round. And next we got a matchup that I would have loved to have seen in the movies for real. It would be Sonny Chiba taking on Chuck Norris. We got karate versus Korean karate of Tang Sudo. Tang Sudo, I'm sure many of you know, you're watching this, literally is the way of the Chinese hand in Korean. So definitely trying to give some homage. Oh, Lord. Oh, yeah. Well, this I wouldn't have to warn about the sex scene because it's an adult broadcast. That would be interesting how OBS handles. Excuse me, how Twitch handles that. Oh well. No kids are watching this anyway. But we got Tang Sudo with those kicks on Sonny Chiba. Oh, and he uses those kicks to. Chuck Norris has just used those kicks to win round 1 against Sonny Chiba. Caprobatica is rooting for Sonny, excuse me. Sonny's coming back, showing his kicking skills. And that little short tanto blade and that knife edge hand strike. Got Sonny Chiba. Sonny Chiba. I'm trying to remember the name of the movie Sonny Chiba starred in with Roddy Piper. I can't remember. It actually was a decent movie, and I used to watch it in the 90s, and I can't remember what it's called. It was Roddy Piper and Sonny Chiba were like teamed up, and that was real deep. trying to remember the name of that movie. And of course, Sonny Chiba. You know, one thing. Oh, Sonny Chiba. One thing I haven't seen, and I need to get on DVD because I want to see the Yagyu conspiracy with Sonny Chiba playing Jubei Yagyu. Oh, of course. I watched Kung Fu Theater on Channel 20 on the weekends as a kid. One of the only thing my mother let me stay up to watch past my bedtime because she knew how much I loved Kung Fu movies. That's why I saw, you know, the funny thing is we had Kung Fu movies back in the day, and that was, what was it, 83, 84 for a few years. It was on Channel 20. Channel 4 used to show them on Saturday afternoon sometimes. Channel 62 used to show them. And Channel 50 used to show them. Now the funny thing is, each of those channels, as I've learned about Kung Fu movies, had different films from different distributors. So like and Chuck Norris Wins, Channel 62 had all the IFD films, the Korean Kung Fu movie films that were filmed in Korea, had totally different names. And we got a classic match. I got to stop talking here. We got Tang Po taking on JCVD. Oh, classic matchup. I want Tang Po. Freddie Lee. Yeah. We got the classic matchup here. JCVD taking on Tang Po. Oh, I want Tang Po. Bring me Tang Po.
Perfect.
You want to end up like Eric? Man, I ain't going to your funeral. If you wasn't such a coward. Oh, JCBD with it. Your brother, remember? Oh, Tang Po. Tang Po with the super move off the bat. Taking away half of JCVD's energy. Can JCVD even get some strike? Okay, he's got to come back. Oh. Woo. JCVD got to come back and do some JCVDing. Using those Eskrima sticks to good use. I want Tang Po. Bring me Tang Po. Well, he wanted Tang Po and got him, but couldn't handle him. Now we got round two. No, round two is over. I'm sorry. Oh, no, round two we got Buddha's Fist. Buddha's Fist taking on Chuck Norris. I forget the Buddha's Fist actor's name. Let me go find that real quick because this guy's one of the best. He's one of the Yoon clan. One of Yoon Woo Ping's, either his brother or his father's students. And this dude in that movie was on that. If you haven't seen Buddha's Fist, see Buddha's Fist. I think it may be on Amazon. I'm not sure. We're gonna see who the actor is, and I mean this was an all-star cast, but I gotta see who the guy who was the Buddha's Fist as he defeats Chuck Norris in round. Brandy Yoon? No. Let me see. I'm gonna look on IMDb, but it's IMDb, so it could be wrong. Okay, that took me to somewhere that's not IMDb. I guess you got taken to some electric shaver thing when I took the title. That's just really weird. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna look at the full cast here. Oh, how could I forget? That's Seal Ming Sui is who this characters are based on. You'll know, many people will know Seal Ming Si because he was man, this guy was he was a producer in a lot of movies. I'm trying to see the movie that he directed. He's in a lot of movies. This guy's skill set was beyond great. Well, okay. So we got Buddha's Palm taking on Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris, karate champion. I don't know if you remember. You might be too young to remember this. Chuck Norris had a cartoon that used to come on called Chuck Norris and the Karate Commandos. They used to come on in the. I remember seeing them in the '80s. It might have came out in the '80s, and it was Chuck Norris and the Karate Commandos. But we got Muay Thai going up against the Buddha's Palm for who's going to win this tournament. And if Muay Thai wins, this will be the second tournament we've played tonight that Muay Thai has won. So interesting. Yeah, it was Chuck Norris and the Karate Commandos. Look it up on YouTube because they have clips of it, and yeah, man, they had 80s had some different cartoons. Chuck Norris and the Karate Commandos. One of my favorite Chuck Norris movies was Force of One. And I don't, Chuck Norris, I like him because he was a real martial artist, but I can't say that I really liked a lot of his movies. I think I like the Octagon. What is the Force of One? One of the Missing in Actions, and a couple other ones. We got Muay Thai again with the victory in round 1 over Buddha's Palm. Buddha's Palm's gonna have to come back and use that monk spade on his back to get some distance. Because Tang Po's vicious, man. He just gave him a headbutt. And he's gonna have to use that monk spade. Oh. Well, this is the second tournament in a row that Tang Po has won. Wow. Tang Po is the star of the night so far. Wow. See who we're gonna do another tournament, and let's see who we're gonna pick. We're gonna do 8-rounder or 8 tournament slots. Gonna watch those computer battles, and let's see who I'm gonna choose now.
Kickboxing.
JCVD, Jim, Capoeira, Dang Sudo, Judo. Now, when the judo guy comes, tell me who you think he is. I was looking at some people's videos on YouTube who did videos on this game, and and they were saying that they thought judo was Steven Seagal. I don't know. I can't tell who that's supposed to be. Okay, we got Jim going up against judo. Round 1. Who's gonna win? my favorite Jim Kelly movie. Whoa, what up, doe? My favorite Jim Kelly movie had to be Tattoo Connection, but I love Black Belt Jones. Mr. Melandro 81 has joined us. He's in the house. But I can't tell who this judo character is supposed to be. I was looking online and some videos have him down as being Steven Seagal, but I don't see it. So I'm gonna see who the judo character is supposed to be. But we got Jim with the classic Jim combo there. But judo coming back. Oh, Jim with the reverse punch to the gut. Doesn't look like Seagal. Oh, that's a nice judo throw, though. I can't tell who that's supposed to be. You don't know? Funny.
Round 2.
Oh, man. It could be... No, it couldn't be him. I don't know who it is. I'm going to find out, though, because it's like bugging me. I can't tell who that's supposed to be. I'm trying to think of a Japanese actor who may have used judo in the movies. Can't be Toshiro Mifune because it looks nothing like him. Although, you know, I mean anything. I'll figure it out. Oh, that's a bad judo throw he keeps doing to Jim. Jim got to use them long legs, man. Oh, ooh. Oy. Oh, Jim's out.
Player 1 wins.
So judo advances to the next round, and next we got one of the most intriguing matchups that I can think of on this game, and that's Jean-Claude Van Damme versus Damo, the Shaolin, which is actually the actor Chin Sing. If you're not an old school Kung Fu movie fan, you will not know who Chin Sing is, because when it got to the 90s Hong Kong movies, he was always cast as like this mob boss, triad boss. But if you are an old school fan or you're interested, some good Chin Sing movies. Oh man, Chin Sing been in so many. With some good ones. Duel of Flying Kicks with Chin Sing. What was the tournament? Not the tournament. The Himalayan with Chin Sing, and of course, the movie that this character, that Chin Sing, is played on. The movie's known as Killer Priest or Shaolin Damo, also known as not Stranger from Shaolin. Killer Priest is good because it's one of the Wu-Tang movies, so changed the name to Killer Priest. But Chin Sing fought Jim Kelly actually in the end of Tattoo Connection. He was the boss bad guy, so he played a lot of triad bosses. Now that just means that all these years I haven't had a life and looked at too many Kung Fu movies. Yeah, Chin Sing, and one of my favorite bad guys. He was in a ton of Shaw Brothers. Oh, Chin Sing, great movie that he was in playing a good guy, because he didn't play good guys a lot. Heroes of Shaolin, The Iron Fisted Monk with Sammo Hung. As a bad guy, he was excellent in this movie called The Shaolin Plot. I love The Shaolin Plot. Great movie. Sammo Hung choreographed movie from the early days. Great kung fu in that movie. Oh, Damo with the kick to the lower regions to win.
Round
Very cool.
3. Fight.
So as I was asking Caprobatica, what was the plot of the Shaolin plot? Oh, ha ha ha.
Perfect.
If I tell you the plot of the Shaolin plot, this movie, the Shaolin plot was there was a plot by the Manchurian prince to steal all of the major kung fu schools manuals so he could be the ultimate in martial arts. But of course, the Shaolin temple resisted. The Wudang temple gave their the Wudang school, I should say, gave their books to a young disciple to run away with, who he found the blinded Shaolin monk in the forest. I'm skipping ahead. A Shaolin monk in the forest, and he taught him Shaolin kung fu. And the prince, the Manchurian prince, disguised himself as a deaf-mute monk and went to the Shaolin temple to steal the manual and kill the abbot. Very good Sammo Hung choreographed flick. Oh, Jean-Claude with the victory. Well, Jean-Claude advances to the next round. Now we have Capoeira, as the game pronounces it, against Chuck Norris and Tang Sudo. Who's gonna win? Will the kicks of Capoeira overcome the kicks of Tang Sudo? I think Caprobatica's going for JCVD to take the whole tournament. Oh! I don't know. Is Tong Po in this still? I can't remember. He didn't even fight yet. Ah! Is Capoeira going to win? He's getting beat up. Oh! Round 1 goes to Tang Sudo. You guys get ready to faint. Chuck Norris is beating the crap out of this dude. Has he gotten any offense in? Yeah, a little bit. Okay, he just gave him the head scissors. Oh, well. Oh, it's he can't. Oh, there he goes. He's coming back. Oh, well. A for effort, but an F for failure. And Chuck Norris advances. Now we got Sonny Chiba taking on Lau Kar Lung, which would have been a very, very if they ever had a fight scene together, that would have been one of the most interesting fight scenes, I think, in the history of movies. Because you talking about styles that oh boy. So we got the Monkey Fist taking on Okinawan Karate. Although, which is funny because Sonny Chiba did not practice Okinawan Karate. He practiced Japanese Karate, and yes, there is a difference. He practiced Kyokushin Karate, founded by Mas Oyama, and he also practiced Shorinji Kempo, founded by Dosen Sho, as well as Judo. And I believe Sonny Chiba practiced, I don't think he got a black belt in Aikido, but I believe he trained some Aikido and Japanese Jiu-Jitsu as well. I could be wrong on that, but I believe he did. And Kendo, he also, I think Sonny Chiba had a black belt in Kendo as well. And we know, maybe we don't know, but Lau Kar Lung, the great master of Hung Gar Kung Fu, and one of the greatest, if not the greatest, in my opinion, director of pure Kung Fu movies.
Round 2. Fight.
Subtitles when you say I could just type them in the chat. Oh man, you guys are funny. But yeah, man. So who we got? We got Okinawan karate or we got monkey style? Sonny Chiba. Oh, Sonny Chiba with the short tanto blade to... Wow, that's an insult. You call that fighting? Okay, we got round 2 coming up. First match, judo versus kickboxing. Whoever this judo actor dude is supposed to be is going to take on Jean-Claude Van Damme in a very picturesque location with waterfalls and nice blue water and cool. So I don't know, man. JCVD might have his work cut out for him against the kendo sword and the judo and moves. Oh, Caprobatic and rooting for. I don't know. Oh, he just got that judo toss. Uh-oh, judo with the spinning kicks, the kendo sword, and everything. And he just did the judo flip on him. Oh, JCVD's not looking so hot right now. Oh, spinning back kick. Round 1 goes to judo. He might be spoiling JCVD's tournament. If JCVD doesn't pull it together, he's got to pull out some of that secret you are not Japanese, you are not Tanaka. He's pulling out, he's got to pull out that Tanaka Runinjutsu or whatever he was supposed to be learning in that movie. Which is fun. This brings me to this. I don't know if you guys know Don the Dragon Wilson, B-movie martial arts movie guy from the 90s, and a real life. Oh man, how many kickboxing titles does that dude have? Oh, Van Damme lost. Anyway, the guy who was playing the Frank Dukes guy, who many have reputed his martial arts background and fighting record, actually tried to throw shade, as they say, on Don the Dragon Wilson, a real life 7 or 8 time kickboxing champion who doesn't have a secret tournament that he won. He's won real televised fights. So very interesting. Them two going back and forth. But now we got Chuck Norris taking on Sonny Chiba, somewhat of a rematch from around the other tournament. Tang Sudo versus Karate. Which is gonna win? Can Sonny Chiba get in on the inside of those kicks to do some karate damage to Chuck Norris? Speaking of which, have either one of you watched Cobra Kai? Cobra Kai TV series? Cobra Kai. How did you like it? How'd you like Cobra Kai? What were your thoughts on Cobra Kai and Daniel San and what's the other dude's name? Johnny. What's your thoughts on Cobra Kai? And what? Not only your thoughts, but what returning Karate Kid person would you want to see? Would you want to see? Who would you want to see from the old franchise make an appearance on Cobra Kai? I would like to see the girl that Hilary Duff play. Yeah, if it was on DVD, I would definitely have that for the collection. enjoyed each one of them. I thought it was well done.
Player one.
Hey, Hawk. Hawk. Yeah. Hawk. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Chuck Norris has got to take on Judo.
Round one.
Yeah, I mean, the martial arts in it wasn't that, I mean, but see, this is the thing for me about Cobra Kai, the Karate Kid whole franchise. The martial arts were never great. It's the whole martial arts atmosphere for me. Storyline wise. And I think Cobra Kai really, is a good storyline and continues the Karate Kid type of storyline. You know, whereas other things surrounding the martial arts other than just the so-called great fight scenes or whatever. And you know, I like the younger Karate Kid people and how, you know, their stories are unfolding. I want to see a change though with Daniel. I can't think of her name on there. Is her name Samantha? Daniel-san's daughter. I think she needs like a, I mean, we saw a little change, but I think she's kind of like a spoiled brat to me. Chuck Norris has just got chucked. Wow, Judo. Judo has won this tournament. Judo has reigned supreme. You like Sam? She's okay. I think she needs a little more maturing. And maybe we'll see that in season 4. Trying to think out of the younger people, who's my favorite? Probably, no, I don't like him.
Choose your fight.
Now we're gonna do team battles. Can the foreigners overcome this all-star golden harvest squad that we got here? I mean, this team 1 is like the all-star golden harvest squad. It's Jackie, Bruce, Donnie, Jet Li, and Angela Mao. It's gonna be hard for the foreigners. Yeah, I mean, I want to see. I don't know what I want to see out of it. Honestly, I want to see how the characters are going to evolve in season 4. Like now that we have this alliance between Johnny and Daniel, so that means that definitely Cobra Kai has to bring in an old school Cobra Kai dude to balance it out. Terry Silver maybe. You know, maybe Mike Barnes comes back. Who knows? Who knows? This is interesting. It's one of the first round. Drunken Master Jackie Chan takes on Capoeira. Oh boy. Oh, Capoeira coming out like quite aggressive here now. He's trying to make up for that other performance, I think. That drunken style. Capoeira's doing pretty good. He's actually doing some attack moves. You know, the only thing sometimes I don't like about the Capoeira characters is they have like no hand techniques. Like in this game, this Capoeira character has like no hand techniques. He doesn't have an elbow, a galopanchi, a godemi, a palm strike, nothing. He's, you know, he doesn't have any hand techniques. He just uses, oh, nice, Vodu Marsegu. Oh, Capoeira, he must have heard you guys. Now he's got to take on Jeet Kune Do, though. He's got to fight Bruce Lee. So So we got to see who's going to win. Oh, Bruce with the multiple kicks. Oh, Capoeira taken out by Jeet Kune Do. Who's Jeet Kune Do got to face now? Oh, Jim Kelly. Yeah, no hand techniques. But I guess, you know, the developer of the game might not have known. He's not a capoeirista, so might not have known. Just going by what he saw, someone told him. And we got the classic matchup that we kind of should have had a little of this in Enter the Dragon, or at least a team up between Bruce and Jim and Enter the Dragon. Although that was originally the plan. I don't know if you know this. That was originally the plan, was to have Jim Kelly team up with Bruce Lee and Enter the Dragon, and John Saxon's character was going to get killed, Roper. But because John Saxon had more acting credits than Bruce Lee, his agent told that they set it up to where it had to be rewrote, where Jim was going to lose and die, and not John Saxon's character. Very interesting piece of history. But when I met Jim Kelly in 2010, he had all type of praises for Bruce Lee. Said they got along very well on the set. He has very great things to say about the Little Dragon. Now it's JCVD taking on this one. Well, JCVD with the victory really quick. So we got to see JCVD. JCVD has to take on Donnie Yen. Oh my goodness, what's happening? What's happening? Can JCVD defeat the Wing Chun of Donnie Yen? I don't know. He may. He's doing pretty good. He's doing pretty good. He's got to keep Donnie from the inside, though. Donnie gets in the inside with those Wing Chum Chum Choys, those chain punches. Then he will. JCVD with the victory over Donnie Yen. Now he has to face Jet Li. I think this might be too much for JCVD. Quickly, Capobatica. Favorite Jet Li movie? Jet Li has to fight the ninja. The ninja. Yeah, his health was a little. Yeah, his health was a little off. We got the favorite Jet Li movie. Capobatica, what's your favorite Jet Li movie? Fist of Legend. I thought you were gonna say Tai Chi Master, or twin. What do they call it? Twin Dragons, Twin Warriors, or something like that. Favorite ninja movie? What's your favorite ninja movie? Twin Warriors. That's what. Yep, that's what they call it. Who's your favorite? We got Angela Mao herself, the Queen of Kung Fu, coming in for Golden Harvest with her ninja assassin. Cool. With her Hapkido. Have you ever seen Revenge of the Ninja with Sho Kasui? Early, mid 80s. Angela Mao with that Hapkido. Hapkido. Another movie. If you haven't seen Hapkido, got to see Hapkido. Hapkido coming in for the cleanup victory. Oh, very interesting. Now Hapkido has to take on Tang Sudo. Wow. Oh, look at Hapkido go. Gotta see Hapkido, man. Great movie. Angela Miles, the star, but it's Sammo Hung, Carter Wong, real Hapkido masters like Jae Han Ji, Wang In Sik. Very good movie. Angela Mao with that devastating wrist throw. And Angela Mao takes it home for the Golden Harvest team. The Foreigners have lost. And let's continue with our Foreigners. Yeah, man, Hapkido. I really wish they had the dub version. I wish they had the dub version because AutoMod held a message for a reason. I don't know what the heck that is. Why is my thing not working? Oh, now we got to go here. And we are, can you hear me?
Round 1. Fight. First hit.
We are back. And we got JCVD. Oh, what happened? Okay. Wait, that's not the right one.
Feiying.
We just saw that one. Sorry, wrong click. We back. We got JCVD. Again, JCVD is back taking on the great Tiger Claw Chin Quan Tai. Let me turn this audio down for the game because it's extremely loud. Okay, that's a little bit better for me. We got Chin Quan Tai. Chin Quan Tai taking on JCVD. Who else we got here? Chin Quan Tai.
Round 2. Fight.
Dun, 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 dun. Yep, the Foreigners. You guys didn't see the match screen. The Foreigners are taking on the Shaw Brothers stars now. So we got Chin Quan Tai in there going up against Chuck Norris. JCVD just lost. Foreigners not having a good outing in these team matches. The Golden Harvest and the Shaw Brothers stars are really taking it to them. Chuck Norris with the victory over Tiger Claw. So Chuck Norris, let's see who he has to take on next. As you look, I got my Shaw Brothers shirt on, so maybe I'm biased.
3. Fight.
Uh-oh. Ghostface Killer. Chuck Norris got to take on the Ghostface Killer. Also another one, if you haven't seen The Mystery of Chess Boxing, very good Kung Fu movie. Now, again, what I'm saying is I'm talking about old school Kung Fu. So if you're not really a fan of old school Kung Fu, you might not think these are great movies. But I do. I think the fight scenes in these make these modern fight scenes pale in comparison. With both the variety and the performances. Ghostface Killer there with the victory. As the Foreigners lose again. Foreigners are not having the food, the foreigner. The Foreigners are not having a good night. For whatever reason.
Choose your fighter.
So let's see if we can choose this team again. We got American Karate, Jim Kelly. Tang Sudo again. So we're choosing our team of who's the foreigners. We got to get him some help. Oh, it's a 2-on-2 battle. As famous tournament karate champions Chuck Norris and Jim Kelly are going to take on the odd team of Chang Shan from Shaolin vs. Lama and Sam Seed from Drunken Master. And Chang Shan's getting some home field advantage as they're going to Taiwan on the movie set of the 18 Bronzemen. If you haven't seen 18 Bronzemen, it's not one of my favorites, but it's a very interesting take on the Shaolin Temple and the legend, at least in the movies, of these 18 Bronzemen. So, very interesting movie. So you can see Jim using that superior reach, but Chang Shang coming back. Oh, yeah. Let me see if I can recommend some Jim movies. Black Belt Jones, if you haven't seen that, is quite entertaining for a lot of reasons other than the martial arts. Although I liked some of the fighting Jim was doing in there. Of course, the Tattoo Connection one, I think that's my favorite Jim Kelly movie. I liked, of course, 3 the Hard Way. 1 Down, 2 to Go was okay. Death Dimension was very weird. Black Samurai is straight with Jim Kelly. So, you know, oh, Phoenix. The Phoenix die. Jim with the KO in round 1. Or not round 1, this is a team battle, right? So Jim with very low energy has to take on Sam Seed for the Drunken Master. Black Samurai is that's his code name, because he's like this CIA type of secret agent dude. So it's I like it because Jim's in it, but it's quite a cheap movie. It's made by the king of Al Adamson, was known as a director, or we don't even know if that's his real name. It's like a pseudonym. And he was kind of known to be a very low budget director. But I like the movie Black Samurai with Jim. And I think Tang Sudo is going to finally bring the foreigners a victory in these team battles, because Sam Seed, the Drunken Master, has very little energy. So all Chuck Norris has to do is kick him a couple times. But he's using those skills of moving. But so the foreigners win in the 2-on-2 battle. The 2-on-2 battle. The foreigners win. Chuck Norris brings the victory home for the foreigners. Now who we got? Another team battle. Or maybe not. Let's see what I'm selecting here. Another team battle. This time we're going to get 4-on-4. Who we're going to select for those foreigners to fight. Uh-oh. Angela Mao. Bolo Yoon. Jet Li. What a hodgepodge team we got here. And Gordon Liu are going to take on our foreigners. Jim, JCVD, Sonny Chiba. This is a hodgepodge here. And Capoeira. So we got a group of teams here that are very interesting. Oh, Jim has to take on Angela Mao, and they're going to Korea to do it. Caprobatica, who you got, man? This is an interesting team encounter here. Jim taking on Angela Mao. I don't believe they ever even met, let alone were on the same movie set. No, you know what? They might have been for Enter the Dragon. Take that back. I don't know, Jim with those long legs. Let me give you a couple other good Angela Mao movies. Which one is very hard to find. It's called The Tournament. Very good Angela Mao movie. Of course, Hapkido. Then you have Broken Oath, one of my favorite Angela Mao movies. Broken Oath. The Lady Constables. What's another good one? Angela Mao. I'm looking at it in my head and I can't. Oh, The Fate of Lee Khan. Oh, Angry River.
Round 2.
Angela Mao, the girl. Oh, Angela Mao versus JCVD. Caprobatica's got to be torn here. But we know her health is so low that JCVD is going to take this victory. Nope, she's never been in a movie with Cynthia Rothrock. By the time Cynthia Rothrock got into the movies, Angela Mao had retired from filmmaking. Uh-oh, we got the classic matchup. Chong Li versus Frank Dukes. Oh no. You are next.
That takes a ball.
You know, maybe the next Shaolin vs. Wu-Tang game, the creator can create a Cynthia Rothrock-like character. And Cynthia is, of course, her Hong Kong films are much, much better than her American ones, but very big fan of Cynthia Rothrock. The lady, if you want to see a good Hong Kong movie where Cynthia Rothrock was the actual star through the whole movie, The Lady Reporter is very good. The Lady Reporter and Magic Crystal. Her and Richard Norton were the protagonists in that Hong Kong movie. Excellent fight scenes in The Magic Crystal. And Above the Law. She was good in Above the Law, also known as Righting Wrongs with Yoon. She played opposite Yoon Bu. So that was good. Very good, actually. Sonny Chiba with the win over, Sonny Chiba and, no, I'm thinking about Yasuaki Kurata. Sonny Chiba versus Jet Li. Yeah, man, Above the Law that was a great movie. Shanghai Express is another one where Cynthia did a great job. Pretty much almost anything. Well, I can't say that, but I'm mostly what Sammo Hung is choreographed. I'm pretty much gonna like. Jet Li took out Okinawan karate. Now, Capoeira has to go up against Jet Li. Yeah, those lack of hand techniques on the Capoeira character really hurts. I know I just asked what's your favorite Jet Li movie. What's your least favorite Jet Li movie? What's one of a Jet Li movie that you wouldn't watch again? And I'll give you mine. There's like a couple Jet Li movies that I cannot bring myself to ever watch again. And I'll name one. Or I'll put, mine is, I'm gonna put in the chat. The new Legend of Shaolin is a Jet Li movie that I never want to watch. Oh, Capoeira actually won. Now he's got to fight Gordon Liu. Oh, that was quick. Yeah, I couldn't stand the new Legend of Shaolin. Just I could never watch it again. I don't think ever. It's a couple Jet Li ones that I couldn't watch again. Like, yeesh, yeah. Now we're just gonna do a couple of versus matches. Excuse me. We're gonna have Chuck Norris go up against Ninjutsu. Yeah. That would be nice. I mean, I think you can change the health regeneration. I just always keep it at low. Because what I'm playing is actually a challenge to come back from low. I think this is when my game started messing up. Yep, I think this is when the game, I believe, started messing up. Yeah. Yes, now we're back. So our last session of the night. Now that's a little bit better.
Choose your fighter.
Kickboxing. Tang Su Do.
Can you hear me now?
Karate.
Now we're gonna have a tournament. I think this is our last segment of the night. We're gonna have a tournament. A 4-man tournament with some of our foreign fighters. Can you hear me now? We're gonna have Jim Kelly taking on the Capoeira character. Here. Our last segment of the night. 4-man, oh, no it's not. One of the last segments, the 4-man tournament of the foreigners. Right now we got round 1, we got Capoeira versus Karate, USA Karate. Jim Kelly versus, I'm gonna call this guy Lateef Crowder. Capoeira a little more aggressive in this match, isn't he? Oh, but then see those lack of hand techniques. You just got to get under the capo kicks, and then you can get under those hand techniques. I mean, no hand techniques. You can get under those kicks and get in the inside like many of these other characters with hand techniques are doing. Or even use your long-range hand technique reverse punches like Jim is doing here. Woo, nice spinning crescent. Oh, and Capoeira's taken out of the tournament by USA Karate. Oh, no, he's not. It's a second matchup. My fault. Oops. And the star of the show, Eeyore, says hi to all the audience. He's eagerly watching the matchups. Eeyore is so happy. He's saying hi. Nice Hashira. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Eeyore in the house, my co-host tonight. Uh-oh. Capo super move coming up. Uh-oh. Capoeira trying to make this even. And he has. Winner takes all in this first round tournament match here. Is it gonna be Capoeira or USA Karate? Are you? Capoeira trying to confuse Jim Kelly here with that movement. Uh-oh, USA Karate using that staff. Capoeira with those esquivas there, nice esquivas. Trying to close that gap with a macaco into a helicopter. Oh, Capoeira's, oh, Jim's coming back. Oh, you. Uh-oh, Capoeira trying to make a run for it. Wow, their power levels are almost even. Oh, in a very close matchup. Jim Kelly advances to round 2. Now, another classic matchup. JCVD has to overcome Chuck Norris. I know that Caprobatica is rooting for JCVD in this matchup. Who's going to win this matchup? And we know that in real life, Chuck Norris and JCVD are friends and have trained together. And Chuck Norris actually gave JCVD a job before he was a well-known actor. He gave him a job as a bouncer in a bar that I think Chuck Norris either co-owned or knew the owner of. And he was Chuck's training partner for a while. So some history there between these two dudes. Yeah. And so JCVD, nothing but respect for Chuck Norris and vice versa. In their prime, in both of their heydays, it would have been nice to see them in a team up, like a team up movie. That would have been nice, like some. Oh yeah, they're still cool. Yep. It would have been nice to see JCVD and Chuck Norris in some type of team up movie. That would have been very interesting. I'm surprised that never happened. But since both were at one point. Both were contracted under Canon Films during the same period, so I don't know why that never happened. That would have been great to have them like as cops in a movie, like a team-up movie or something, or you could make a premise where they had to infiltrate the underground illegal fighting tournament that's also trafficking drugs or something, and they both entered as like competitors, but they were on like the same side. They were both undercover cops or something. I am very surprised that never happened. I will be interested to hear stories around why that never happened, because I know some studio exec, yeah, he should have been in the first Expendables, and then they could have had some interaction. But I would love to hear from the studio execs, like of Canon Films, why those two never were in a movie together when they were both contracted same time. But we got a very classic matchup here that never happened, that could have actually happened in karate tournaments back in the day, and that's Jim versus Chuck. It never did to my knowledge, but it actually could have happened since they were both competing around the same time, although I think Chuck would have had more experience competing because he was competing longer than Jim, but this would have been a very interesting matchup to see. And if you go, and I can direct you guys if you would like, or just share. They do have clips of some of these, not these two fighting because they never fought, but they do have some interesting clips of those old school karate tournament matches. You know, on one hand, they're kind of, some of them can be kind of boring, but on some, some of them are quite enjoyable. It's just like if you love martial arts history like I do, to see the evolution of some of these guys that we call masters now, that competed. It's very interesting to see them actually fight in tournaments and how the tournament fighting differs from the tournament fighting of now. And you could see some elements there that some MMA has included from some of those tournament fights, and even some of the rules. So very interesting. I can share those with you guys if you would like at some point. Some channels dedicated to those old tournament fights, and they have some footage of Chuck and Jim and Steve Muhammad, aka Steve Sanders of the Black Karate Federation, who Bruce Lee said he had the fastest hands he had ever seen. He actually said fastest hands and feet that he had ever seen. So a bit of American martial arts history, and if you're interested in just general American martial arts history, a good YouTube channel to follow is called the Martial Arts History Museum. Has some interviews and stuff, some old school martial arts dudes that's considered pioneers. Well, some of those channels that publish the tournament clips are actually channels of some of those guys that have fought, and that's their home. That's kind of like their video, home video, quote unquote, type clips. You know, it's footage. They're actually, a lot of it is their footage. And I don't think that and Chuck Norris wins. He's the winner of this tournament. I don't think none of those, because the karate tournaments really weren't broadcast on TV or anything. So a lot of the tournaments were filmed, but they weren't like filmed for TV. Some of the ones that have been filmed for TV you can still find on YouTube. And I just don't think that they're going after those, because I don't think they think anybody wants to watch them. We got another 4-man tournament with Sonny Chiba. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Sonny Chiba, judo guy, ninja man, Hiroyuki Sanada. Who else are we going to put in this one? And Muay Thai. Whoa, this promises to be a very interesting mini tournament here, as we have Okinawan karate, Muay Thai, judo, and forgot the other one. I did that quick. I mean, there's some clips of Billy Blanks from his tournament days. He had a rivalry with a dude named Steve Nasty Anderson. They had a little rivalry in the tournaments, and they would make it to the finals and you know, fight each other in the tournaments. Very interesting stuff. And it's interesting to see Billy Blanks not being Mr. Tybo, but Billy was known as a great tournament fighter. He won a ton of trophies and a ton of tournaments, and he has some very fast and accurate kicks. Honestly, if you want to see one of the best movies, I think, that has Billy Blanks, King of the Kickboxers, with Lauren Avedon and Billy Blanks. Even though Billy Blanks is playing the bad guy in Thailand named Khan, but he's a black dude. So, but yeah, King of the Kickboxers. What's another Billy movie I enjoyed? Talons of the Eagle. Showdown, of course. Great Billy Blanks movie. Man, I need a list of Billy Blank movies because they were the ones when I was working at Blockbuster we would get a lot of, and I would just sit and watch. Sometimes in the store when we have a lot of customers, I would sit and put the Billy Blanks movies in and just really watch and enjoy them. But Talons of the Eagle is a good one. All these you can find on YouTube freely. Like they're on YouTube. Just Talons of the Eagle. Talons of the Eagle. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Talons of the Eagle. King of the Kickboxers. King of the Kickboxers. Another Billy Blanks movie was TC 2000. What was that other one? Oh, I'm looking at the cover. Them should get you started though. If you haven't seen Billy Blanks movies, I mean they're B movies and the acting is, well, you can imagine, but some good martial arts scenes, and like I said, I like them for the history of just, well, this was what we had in the 90s. We had when the martial arts movie was starting to fall out of favor going to the theater, we had the straight to video movies, which was a lot of Billy Blanks movies, Lauren Avenden movies, who's another great kicker, and Blood Brothers, No Retreat, No Surrender 3, Blood Brothers, No Retreat, No Surrender 2. Muay Thai just is going through people, man. Excuse me. We had a lot of those movies. Sonny Chiba's movies were going to straight to video, the ones he made over here. So it was a great time for me as a martial arts fan and a dude working at Blockbuster. I was loving it. Student versus teacher on this one is we got Sonny Chiba taking on Hiroyuki Sanada. Hiroyuki Sanada will be seen in the upcoming Mortal Kombat as Scorpion. A great Hiroyuki Sanada movie. Roaring Fire. And I'm going to plug my YouTube channel here. This month, this Japanese martial arts movie month. Oh yeah, Blockbuster was funny. Japanese martial arts movie month over at Film Fan Dojo on YouTube. We're going to be highlighting some of the fight scenes from the Japanese movies. Yesterday we just came out with our Fight Scene Friday with fight scenes from Harakiri, one of the best Japanese samurai movies I've ever seen, the original Harakiri from 1962. We've got next week, our first Fight Scene Friday was actually Sonny Chiba in Karate Bullfighter, also known from the series as Karate Kenka. And if you, like Caprobatica, are an anime fan, a lot of those anime karate characters and martial arts characters are based loosely, and some not so loosely, on a couple people. Sonny Chiba being one of them, and another one is Antonio Inoki, the famous founder of New Japan Pro Wrestling, and he fought Muhammad Ali in the Tokyo Dome. If you watch, what is this one? One of the Grappler Bakis. It's a pro wrestling dude on there, and they're talking about like how tough he is and everything. That's based upon Antonio Inoki. Kagan Ashura I remember the fight scenes. It was a pro wrestling dude on there, based upon a dude that trained, one of the dudes that trained Inoki, and a lot of the Japanese wrestlers. Karl Gotch, the godfather, the king of catch wrestling, who was a professional wrestler in the scripted sense, but he was also used his wrestling in some pit fighting type things. So he was the real deal. Karl Gotch. And some of the wrestling people in those animes are based on that. And a lot of the karate dudes and stuff are based on Sonny Chiba characters, particularly Terry Saruta, who was the Sonny Chiba character in Street Fighter. So speaking of Sonny Chiba, he advances to the next round and he has to take on Tang Po. I want Tang Po! And they get to fight in the Kumite. So that's cool. Or what's supposed to be the Kumite in this little game. Not little, but it's a great game. I don't know, because you like Tang Po. I want Tang Po! Bring me Tang Po! Oh no, I'm rooting for Sonny Chiba. Tang Po's been winning too much tonight. Oh, Sonny Chiba's played some bad guy. Oh, well, you might be rooting for the right guy. Sonny Chiba's played some bad guys too in a lot of movies. He wasn't always the hero. He played in Ninja Wars. Was that he played? Who did he play? Momochi Sandayu? No, he didn't play Momochi Sandayu. What was? No, it wasn't Tokugawa. Man, who was that ninja he played? Anyway, he played an evil ninja in Ninja Wars. Another movie I enjoyed thoroughly, Ninja Wars. Oh, Okinawan karate. Little known, well, I don't know if it's little known, but interesting fact that Sonny, well, kickboxing win. I mean, Tang Po wins. Dang, Tang Po is the MVP of the night. Tang Po has been the MVP of the night, people. Tang Po. Tang Po has been the MVP of the night. He has won the most tournaments, won the most matches, and I guess at least tonight he reigns supreme as the king of the foreigners on this edition of Film Fan Dojo Twitch. Yeah, we have fun again tonight. Thanks to Mr. Melandro for dropping in. As of course, always thanks to Caprobatica for keeping it live with me as usual. Gotta come up with a theme for next week. I'm toying around with doing some Mortal Kombat play, but I don't know because I don't have the setup I want. Oh, I wanted to introduce this tonight. Let me see if I can make this happen very quickly. Let me see if I can make this happen very quickly. Oh, yeah, teachers versus... I don't know if it's enough people on there for that. We could do a segment, though. Teachers versus students. Because it might not be enough characters on there who had that relationship. But we can definitely do a segment, teachers versus students. And I wanted to, what time is it? It's almost 12. Okay. Next week, I'm going to introduce some gameplay from Yi Kung Fu, which is a old school game I remember playing in the arcades from the 80s, one of the first kung fu games to be widely played and distributed in arcades. Man, that game is so fun. I got it on the Switch, so I did some gameplay. I'm going to include that next week. We're going to do a segment with teachers versus students. We're going to do a segment. I wish it was more women characters on the game. It's only three if I do the PC version. It's three women characters, and I want to do a women's showcase. So I may do a segment on the women's showcase with Angela Mao, Cara Hui, and Lily Lee. And have them team up. Of course, have them fight each other in tournament. Have them team up and take on some of the men. I think I'll do that. We'll just keep those when they take on the men. We'll just keep those 3-on-3 matches, since it's only 3 women characters on the PC version or the Steam version of the game. So we'll do that. We'll do the teachers versus students segment. We'll do the Queens of Kung Fu segment. And I'm trying to think one more segment. We're going to do another segment. And Caprobatica just gave me this idea. We're going to do the villains. We're going to have the characters that represent the villains. We're going to do a segment on the villains. So they're going to get some shine next week. So that'll be Ghostface Killer. That'll be Eagle's Claw. That'll be Golden Arm. Man, that's a lot of villains. That'll be Bai Mei. That'll be Eight Diagram Fist. That'll also be Phoenix, because he was Chang Sheng was a villain in the Shaolin vs. Lama movie. And then it'll also be, I'm missing one villain, but I'm trying to imagine a game board. But it's going to be 3 segments. So we're going to have the Queens of Kung Fu. We're going to have teacher versus student. We're going to have the villains next week on Film Fan Dojo, Twitch. So I thank you guys. Thank Caprobatica as always for the support. Thank Mr. Melandro81 for the support. Hopefully people replay this and we get some more support going on this channel. But we're almost coming up on 2 hours. So we're going to call this one a night. And I want to really have next week some Kung Fu talk about the Kung Fu reboot, because I got a lot to say on that one. And I want to hear some other thoughts, maybe some dissenting opinions, because I really don't think that I'm the target audience for that show. And I will explain why I'm not the target audience for that show next week. I'm going to continue to watch the show because it's, one thing I will say I do like about the show is good for Asian American representation as far as being on the screen. But I got a lot to say about the tone of the show, a ton to say about the martial arts of the show, and I just don't think that I'm the target demographic for the show. And I don't mean because of my race. I mean because probably of my preference of martial arts movies and TV shows. So we're going to do some compare and contrast if we can. And so that'll be some of the conversation next week. So thanks again for tuning in. We're going to take you out with the Heroes Tower from Sneed the Jade Badger here. And we're going to let this one ride out. We're going to have, I wish you a very blessed and good night. And if you have an opportunity, tomorrow on my YouTube channel, well, not Film Fan Dojo, tomorrow on the DCWA Gary Williams YouTube channel, you can also find that we'll be streaming the Detroit City Wrestling Alliance Full Throttle Episode 8. A fatal 4-way is going to happen tomorrow to see who the number 1 contender is. But thank you, Mr. Melandro, for tuning in. Thanks for the commentary, the funny emojis, and whatever they call them on here. And I wish you guys a good luck with the Samba tomorrow, Samba workshop. And I will see you guys soon. Peace out. Peace.